Hey everyone, welcome to day one of distance learning. I know it's day two already, but I'm a little bit behind. Give me some time to catch up. Let's start with the packet. So, Algebra 1, Week 1. Now I'm going to go over the example that I put in Canvas in case you need some help with that first. Here's the example. Dayana will participate in a charity track meet. Her mother will donate $20 for Dayana's participation, plus an additional $5 for each event that Dayana wins. If Dayana wins 3 events, what will be the amount of her mother's donation? Multiply and add. So feel free to do your work like this on a blank piece of paper if you don't have printing access. So 1, I know her mom's going to donate 20, and then plus $5 for every event that Dayana wins, right? So that's going to be 5 times 3. 20 plus 15. 5 times 3 is 15. This is going to be 35. Good. That's number 1. Number 2. Actually, not number 2. I'm tripping. That's A. Here's B. Write an equation for D, the amount of dollars of Dayana's mother's donation as a function of E, the number of events Dayana wins. It should look something like D parentheses, or we say D of E equals blank plus blank E. Fill in the blanks. So I'm going to put D parentheses E equals, let me copy that just so I have it clean, plus blank E. So this blank, I'm going to say is that donation that Dayana's mom gives every single time. I know she gives 20 each time, so I'm going to put 20 plus, and then she donates how much for each event? 5. So 5E. And that's it. This is my function. It's hard to record and write at the same time. All right. C. If the donation is 60, how many events did Dayana win? Hint. 60 I gotta fix my spelling. Represents D of E, so you have to substitute and solve for E. So let me just rewrite this so it's nice and clean. D of E equals 20 plus 5E. Now, 60 is going to represent D of E or E? D of E. So 60 equals 20. I guess I don't really need the dollar sign. That way it's consistent 5E. Now it's just a basic solving a multi-step equation. So I got 20, it's positive, opposite of positive is negative, so I subtract 20 on both sides, inverse operations. Try my little calculation line, 60 minus 20 is 40, equals 20 minus 20 cancels out because it's 0, and then bring down the 5E. Now, when I have a letter and a number next to each other, that's multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. Divide by 5 on both sides. 40 divided by 5 is 8. 8 equals E. So that represents the events Dayana won. So Dayana won 8 events. All right, last. D. Dayana wants her mother to donate no more than $80. What is the greatest number of events Dayana can win? So pretty similar as step C. So I'm going to write my equation over again, my function. D of E equals 20 plus 5E. Now instead of 60, I'm going to put in 80. 80 equals 20 plus 5E minus 20 on both sides. That's going to give me 60. 20 cancels out. Equals 5E. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. I got to do some long division. 5 goes into 6 one time. Sorry, maybe my hand is just all over this place. 10, 12. So 12 events. So Dayana can only win 12 events. Otherwise, her mom's going to go broke. All right. So that's how much she can win. So the problems you have, this one instead is about Melissa in a charity walkathon. So very, very similar. Very, very similar. So that is for the opening exercise. The second part of it is called A Day at the Market. So if you look at page 4, it looks a little overwhelming. Basically, you have all these different things you can sell at a market, cupcakes, lemonade, ice cream. You're basically making your own business. It's very, very open-ended. So there's not really something I can prescribe to you. It's up to you to kind of create your own business. So you can do cupcakes, lemonade. I did ice cream. So try not to follow my example. I'm not going to show you all the details. And then you can actually make up your own stuff. So if you want to research and sell, I don't know, honey buns, open your own barber shop or beauty shop, or selling haircuts or whatever you want, it's really flexible. So make sure you fill out the beginning, choose your product, pick a name for your business. Number 2 is which of the costs to produce and sell the product are fixed. So the keyword here is fixed, meaning it don't change. So in my case, for ice cream, the stands don't change, because no matter what, I'm gonna have to buy a stand, just one. So whether I sell 1 ice cream or 100 ice creams, I'm still gonna pay $225. I'm not gonna show you all the things. This is just an example. Second, you're gonna look at variable costs. So variable cost means what changes. So for example, bowls. I could use 1 bowl, I could use 100 bowls. So this part was the most confusing for me. Basically, you put in the bowls, you put in the cost that they said in front, it was $289. However, $289 got me 25 bowls. So then to get the 4th column, I had to take $289 divided by 25 using a calculator, because I ain't got time for that. And then it became 0.1156. So 11 cents. I want to keep the decimals here at a high number, because when you're dealing with money, you want to be as accurate as possible. Make sure you add all these up to calculate number 6. All right, so number 7 is kind of your own guess. The way I look at number 7 is after you look at the total fixed and variable costs you calculated, decide how much you'll charge for 1 serving of your product. That's really up to you. I chose $4. Well, first I started with 5, then I started with 4. So you can change this. After you calculate it, you can change how much money you want to make. This part is pretty self-explanatory. There's an example here, so you can kind of follow the example. The domain, think of domain again representing like what you're selling. So here I put domain is the ice creams, and the range is the money I lost or gained. So you can please put that in your own words, don't copy mine. The function part for, sorry, I skipped ahead. The function part for number 9 might be the hardest. Write a function P of S representing your profit as a function of S, the number of servings sold. Be sure to account for fixed costs. So basically, I took my fixed costs, I subtracted it, and then this right here, so the S represents, let's see, S represents the serving. So I know this looks like a 5, it's an S. The number here is what I got by taking the $4 from my price, subtracting it with number 6 on the back, the variable cost, which I got by adding all that up. And one more time, this number right here, I got from taking number 7's answer, my price, subtracting it with the variable cost. So that's my function. Last, you got to graph the function. Remember, y equals mx plus b. Let me write that down. Y equals mx plus b. So my function was y equals 3.4344 s plus, no, not plus, minus 277.47. So this number is the y-intercept. So I put it right here. Now you could use slope. So you go up 3.4344. That's too much. That's too complicated. So instead what I did is I found some points on here. So to find this point right here, I figured out, okay, when does this equal to 0? So I set my function equal to 0, so 0 equals 3.4344s minus 277.47. Then I solve for s. That's the number I got. Basically, these points I found by just substituting in numbers for s, and finding what the y value was. Also keep in mind the scale. I know there's a lot going on right here, but you had to scale it. I went by hundreds on the y-axis and by 25s on the x-axis. It's really up to you. I want to leave it open-ended. All right, so here I want you guys to answer this on your own. I don't want to give too much guidance here, and the reflections is pretty open-ended as well. All right, so that's it for the video. Let me know if you have any questions.